Of the three biker gangs you've infiltrated, which was the most dangerous and why?
Well, I think overall the Outlaws and the Mongols, probably more the Outlaws, just because they have been in a war with the Hells Angels, I think, since 1972, and they were more fixated on anything else. Their main perspective in life was to kill Hells Angels. It wasn't to go to bars and get women. It wasn't to go to these big runs like Daytona and go have fun and get wasted. It was, where are the Hells Angels? How are we going to get them? What's our next plan? They were just bitter, grumpy, drunk, drug bikers, you know, and they were like, it was like going back to the 70s, you know, they were grimy, dirty, you know, big beards. The Vagos were more, you know, 21st century. You know, they had Facebook. They hadn't really been at war. I mean, believe me, they're hardcore, but they hadn't been at war with another biker gang. So a major war. They are now. They're at war with the Hells Angels, but they weren't then, and they didn't have that experience. They didn't know how to put bombs underneath cars and do all these other things that the Outlaws have been doing for 50 years. And they were used to tracking enemy down, keeping information on the enemy, where they live, what their routines are, you know, doing counter surveillance and everything else that comes with at war. And so I think overall, as just being pure hardcore, the Outlaws are definitely, even if you took all the biker gangs in America, would be, you know, up there with, you know, the top two probably.
Okay, makes sense. You know, I was thinking about those mafia guys and etc. Usually people thinking about Italian Americans, then they're thinking about the bikers and so on and so forth. But I think nowadays all of those gangs are tightly interlinked, like the Ryan Brotherhood with those Nazi lowriders and those guys with some other bikers. The Russian mafia is laundering money for those. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think if you're going to do business, especially if you're an organized crime group like some of these biker gangs are, you're going to have to reach out to everybody, even Asian mobsters, Armenian mobsters. It just depends what city you're in. I know like the Pagans and the Outlaws in Chicago, you know, did hits for the Italians in Chicago. The Outlaws did. Some of them in Boston did work for the Irish Mafia. So they're going to be intertwined because they help each other. And where Damon's from in Canada, the Hells Angels run that country, and they are the top mafia there, and they're more like mobsters. You know, they're different than the American biker gangs. So it depends what countries you go to as well. But yeah, it's, if you're a smart businessman and, you know, you want to be in the top echelon of business, you're going to deal with any organization that's in your city.
Yeah, makes sense. Just a disclaimer for the audience, doing some criminal activity is really bad, so don't do it. We just do it for the sake of interview. Okay, so let's go further. The next question goes to Damon.
If you want Gangland Undercover back, now's the time. Post on any social media, a clip, a photo, a selfie with the Fight for Falco hashtag, or even just a text post. Share this video with friends, like, subscribe, and check the comments for all the links. Together, we can make Season 3 happen. Let's make some noise. Together, we're a force.